Dear Minister, it's a great pleasure to welcome you here in Nicosia, in Cyprus, on this very special day, a day that coincides with Europe Day, a day of symbolic significance and a reminder how far we have traveled together after our accession to the EU. We have a common European destiny, and in addition to that, we also have an excellent level of bilateral relations, which we have discussed thoroughly today. We also agree that we have the political will and intention to work on these excellent relations and try and improve them even further. In specific, we discussed matters relating to trade, tourism, defense, education, and innovation, and building on the growing people-to-people and business-to-business ties, which of course depend on the excellent and efficient air connectivity that we have established between our two countries. Secondly, I briefed the Minister and the delegation on the latest developments regarding the Cyprus problem. I reconfirmed that our position is absolutely clear. We are ready to support and work with the UN Secretary General's personal envoy in order to resume substantive negotiations for a comprehensive and viable solution within the UN agreed framework of a bizonal, bicommunal federation with political equality. And that is our commitment, and this is the only framework and the only basis upon which we can engage. I also had the opportunity to express our deep appreciation for Slovakia's principled approach as regards the Cyprus problem and for the invaluable contribution of the Slovak contingent to UNFICYP that is taking place for at least 2 decades. And this is something that is extremely important for us, and dear Minister, we are thankful. Third, we discussed recent European Council conclusions and the Union's clear and positive message to Turkey in relation to the EU-Turkey relations that are merit-based or are to be merit-based and interlinked, inter alia, with the Cyprus question. Lastly, we discussed issues of common European and regional interest, and there are many developments taking place that affect directly both our countries and the European Union. In this context, we discussed EU reforms and enlargement as two parallel but distinct processes which should not be linked. On enlargement, Cyprus reiterates its position and its commitment to support the accession process of candidate countries, especially Western Balkans, on a merit-based approach. As regards the necessity for EU internal reforms, we are actively engaging and willing to participate in all relevant discussions with an open mind and a plethora of arguments as to all proposals that have been tabled. Ukraine, we reaffirmed our commitment in support of the territorial integrity, independence, and sovereignty of Ukraine, and we discussed the ways in which our two countries have been providing support in specific and tangible terms to Ukraine and to its people. Finally, the situation in the Middle East. The unfolding situation is a tragedy. It urgently needs to come to a sustainable end through an immediate ceasefire. Part of that arrangement is, of course, the unconditional release of all hostages, and also the pathway towards a political horizon that would lead to a solution of 2 states as provided in the relevant UN resolutions. I would like also to make a point as to our deep concern in relation to the impact of an operation in Rafah, which hosts over 1.5 million people, most of them displaced. This cannot happen, as the consequences would be catastrophic and irreversible. We call for full respect of international humanitarian law, for the need to ensure full functioning of the vital Rafah land crossing, and full respect for the sanctity of human lives. dear Minister, dear friend, once again, let me take the opportunity to welcome you in Cyprus and thank you for the very fruitful and constructive discussions. And I look forward to continuing our deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, dear friend. First of all, let me thank you for a very warm welcome, and also let me thank you for the hospitality which we have here when we come to your beautiful country. So it is a tremendous honor to be here and also to participate on occasion of 20th anniversary of membership to European Union, which is our common celebration, so-called, and I'm very happy to participate this evening in this celebration. Cyprus and Slovakia has a very close relations, and this relation is based on our common values we share within the European Union and also within NATO, and this is very important, which I would like to emphasize very much. We were discussing about this, and this is the following international law, because Cyprus and Slovakia is one of the countries from the 5 countries which haven't recognized Kosovo so far, because we think that this is something which is violating international law. And that's why this is something which I really appreciate, and this could be solved only after when the dialogue between the Pristina and Belgrade will be finished, and then we can recognize this country. And we are very proud that our Slovak mission is for more than 2 decades active within the AMFICIP here, and we know that our AMFICIP contingent is in a very sensitive area, which is 4 sector, and this 4 sector is one of the very sensitive one, and that's why I appreciate our soldiers, how they deal with the problem last year in 2023 in the municipality Pila. So also what I would like to emphasize is the 35th anniversary of the bicommunal dialogue between the Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot political partners, and this is something which is coming from ex-Czechoslovakia, by the way, and I would like to assure my colleague that we will continue in this activity, because I think this is contributing very much. Also, I would like to assure my colleague, Mr. Minister, that we will also support our position within the AMFICIP with the Slovak contingent. We were discussing about the big challenge of enlargement of European Union and reforms which has to be taken for this enlargement. We are expecting something like 9, probably 10 countries which are candidate countries, and we support this enlargement system, but hand in hand with the proper reforms within the European Union. And I have to say very clearly, and there was a very open discussion about one very important issue for Slovakia, which is the right of veto. Slovakia is against this abolishing of right of veto, because we think that is a very important tool for such a country, small and middle-sized country of European Union, and we are really against this. But of course we support another policy of enlargement, which is agriculture common policy, because we would like to have a better position than we had before. We would like to support together cohesion policy and also competitiveness of European Union, which is very important within our common market. So this is when it comes to European Union enlargement, and Slovakia is advocating very much Western Balkan countries. We are a country which are a part of the friends countries of Western Balkan countries, and that's why information about the opening the negotiation process with Bosnia and Herzegovina was a positive sign for those citizens in Western Balkans, because we promised them 20 years ago that once upon a time they will be members of the European Union, and nothing has changed. They are still in the process, and this process is very slow. So we are on the same boat as together with Cyprus. And also we support the membership of Ukraine and other Eastern countries partnership like Moldova or Georgia. And also the positive sign was that European Commission, I mean especially European Council approved opening the negotiation process with Ukraine and Moldova, but we think that this should be made on merit-based manner. Otherwise, this could have only political decision, and we are against this, you know. So we fully support, and we would like to help them. What we have a different position is that how we are looking at the peace process in Ukraine war. Slovakia is very directly expressing that what was happened from the Russian side was the violation of international law. We fully support Ukraine as a democratic country with fully integrated border which we recognize internationally. But what we think that this has not any military solution. After almost 3 years of lasting this conflict, we think that we have to emphasize more and more any peace-making process. That's why our country, on the level of Prime Minister, will participate on the summit in Switzerland about so-called Zelensky peace formula, and we think this could be the basis for the future peace process, and we support any other activities regarding the peace-making process. Also, for example, the Chinese proposal we support very much. As I said to my colleague, I introduce and inform Mr. Minister about the activity of Slovak Republic regarding humanitarian help to Ukraine, non-lethal equipment, and also economic. I inform about our joint meeting of Ukraine and Slovak government in January in Ukraine and in April in Slovakia, in Michalovce, when we cite so-called roadmap for the specific projects which are very important for the Ukraine. I will mention only 3 of them which are very important. First of all is the intensification of interconnection of the electrical grid Ukraine and Slovak Republic. The second, small remark on this, because 70% of production capacity of Ukraine has been destroyed by the Russian. That's why this intensification is very important for running the economy in Ukraine, because there is a very small capacity so far in this interconnection, so it's very important, and we would like to finish by the end of 2026, probably earlier. The second very important project was direct railway connection from the Kiev to only one international airport in Košice, using the broad gauge railway which we have on our territory, so it could contribute as well to Ukraine. And also reconstruction and intensification of cross-border connection in Vyšné Nemecké, from the point of view the future reconstruction of Ukraine, because Slovakia, as a member of European Union, as a member of Schengen, and also as a member of common currency, Euro, we would like to be a gate for the country which would like to contribute in reconstruction post-war Ukraine. When it comes to Gaza, we agree with our colleagues and with Cyprus, and what we are calling right now is humanitarian aid. And we really appreciate the activity of the Cyprus president to introduce a new corridor, maritime corridor, and we are discussing how we can contribute from our side to build this corridor in our possibilities. And we would like to also use this corridor for the second package of humanitarian aid to the Palestinians living in Gaza. And what we are calling also, we are calling for any ceasefire and also for peacemaking process, because this is something which is not balanced. We are facing the situation where there is more than 34,000 of civilians casualties, and from that we can also count many hundreds casualties of humanitarian people, volunteers, and also from the journalists, which is unacceptable. And from that volume of civilians is 70% of women and children, which is unacceptable. That's why we are calling for any ceasefire and support any negotiation process from Qatar, from Egypt, and also for US, because US is a very strong player in this matter, and we support this very much. Mr. Minister, I am very glad that our tourism is also growing. More than 40,000 Slovaks find Cyprus as a good destination. And we would like to have also Cyprus from your side in Slovakia, taking into account very good direct connection to Bratislava and Vienna. And we would like to also cooperate on the innovation and startup level. And there is a very unique conference which take place here in Cyprus at the end of this month. Participation is something like 10,000 of participants and also from Slovakia. And also, as you mentioned, we are ready to cooperate in defense industry, because we already have experience from this side, because in 2010 we sold something like 10 howitzers to Cyprus, and we would like to continue in this, because our industry, different industry, is experienced with good experience and offering a good quality as well. So, if I forget something, I can add later when you have any question. Thank you very much for your attention.
Hello, Cristela Villano, Antena TV. Mr. Kombos, first about the European Council conclusions and the positive message that the EU sent to Turkey, as you said earlier. Are we still confident that this could lead to positive developments in Cyprus problem? Because Ankara has already rejected it and insists in his known uncompromising approachment. And I want a statement from you. Cyprus problem is also a European problem. How Slovakia sees this deadlock in Cyprus problem?
As I mentioned, the European conclusions, the European Council conclusions, in our opinion, are offering an opportunity for a change in the approach of Turkey. We have opened the field and we are expecting to see the positive reaction from the other side. That being said, of course, there are no certainties in relation to this topic, and we have been talking today, and you've heard it in the press statements, that one word we used is merit-based. So any kind of arrangement with the European Union is not just political. There are merit-based requirements and thresholds, and one can complain on, can approach this in a way that perhaps publicly we have heard very recently. At the end of the day, the fact remains the same. The European Union has opened a pathway, a positive pathway for Turkey. It's up to Turkey to take that opportunity in accordance always with the conditions and the preconditions and the requirements that come with it. So it's not a situation where you can just take what is positive without complying with the requirements that are in place for everyone, in accordance to the EU rules, procedures, thresholds, and requirements.
Thank you for your question. It's a very sensitive one, by the way, because, as you know, Turkey is the second largest army within the NATO, is our partner. And also Cyprus is our partner as a member of European Union. And Turkey is also the candidate country, like Western Balkan countries and Eastern countries, as I mentioned. So what we want to do to keep a dialogue and to discuss about everything regarding of this membership and also the Cyprus issue, because this is somehow linked to the accession process of Turkey to European Union. So, as Mr. Minister mentioned, the accession process is not a political one. It's a merit-based process, and we have to support this. Otherwise, it's something which we cannot accept. As our country was a candidate, we have to fulfill all what was required from the European side. And we paid a lot, by the way. We have to close one reactor, nuclear reactor, because of our accession. And also we paid very much for agriculture, common agriculture policy, by the way. Even today, our farmers has only 80% of incentives in compared to the Western farmers. So this is a painful process, and also is a painful process for the Turks. Also the painful process for the Western Balkan country. But especially regarding Cyprus issue is very sensitive, and we support this condition that Turkey has to be positive within the solution of this bi-communal and bi-zonal system which is proposed for this Cyprus issue, and we support this very much from Slovak side.
Hello, Martina Jančerová from Slovak Television. Slovakia has been facilitating the dialogue on the level of political parties between Greek and Turkish Cypriots for a long time. So, at what stage are these negotiations, and how long will they last? And, for example, how long will Slovak soldiers be part of the UN mission in Cyprus?
How long? As long as needed. Slovak mission is very important part of AMFICIP, and our mission has a great result during more than 2 decades being here and keeping the peace process in the buffer zone. And it's not easy to do that because there are many clashes, as I mentioned, the last year. And that's why we support our mission, and I assured my colleague that we will support this mission as much as needed. Regarding 35th anniversary of bicommunal dialogue between the Greek Cypriots and the Turkish Cypriots, this is something which is very unique. By the way, probably not many of you knows that also this contribution of the Slovak part is mentioned in the report of General Secretary of United Nations, because it's a very unique one, and we would like to continue. There are more than 300 meetings. There are many discussions and dialogues, which is very hard, I understand, but it's very needed. I used to say that diplomacy is about discussion. Diplomacy is about the dialogue. And without any dialogue, you cannot solve any problem, even to find a common ground for a peace. Just and lasting peace, what we want to have, not only here in your country, but also in Gaza, in Ukraine. That's our position we will support in the future.
Yeah. Gentlemen, very, very quickly, I'm told I have to speed things up. From the Associated Press, to both of you regarding Gaza, the presumption is, given what's happening right now in Gaza, things are moving very fast with the ongoing operation in Rafah. The presumption is that more aid needs to go into Gaza right now. We know that there was a U.S. flagship that was loaded yesterday with aid. There are reports that it has already departed. Can you give us the status of what's happening with the shipments to Gaza as it stands now, if that U.S. ship has departed, if the actual process has begun, and what are the next steps?
Yes, I think it's safe to say that we have a departure from the American vessel today, early in the morning, and it's part of a process. It's a process that it's going to make use of the American pier, the construction that the Americans have put together. This is going to take place in a step-by-step methodology, and the whole aim is to transfer as much as possible in coordination, of course, with screening capacity here, transfer capacity, reception storage capacity, and then distribution capacity. So it's a very complex equation, but the first step has been taken, and we'll keep you posted with details as this moves along.
Gaza is something which should never happen. This is something which presents a humanitarian crisis, unprecedented humanitarian crisis. That's why we are calling for any ceasefire solution and open all corridors to deliver the humanitarian aid. We appreciate this maritime corridor, but first of all, I have to say very clearly that this military campaign from the Israeli part to the Gaza, where is something like 1.4 million of inhabitants, is unacceptable, and we are calling for prevention, not only from the countries which are active in the peace-making process, but especially we are calling for U.S., because U.S. is a very important player in this field, and U.S. introduced, as far as I know, it was information from the yesterday, they stopped delivering some ammunition or some rockets or whatever. That is very clear sign that also U.S. Consider this that is a big problem. So we support open all corridors and to finish this as soon as possible. Thank you very much for your attention.